very end. Put it in like salt, and only put in a small bit at a time, because you can't take it back out again. All right. And I don't care what any chef says about any trick about using, oh, if you put sugar into it, or you put, I don't know, asbestos in it or something or whatever, it'll hide the taste of the salt. It won't. Do you know what I mean? You need to be careful when you're putting it in. What you put in, you can't take back out. So you're better off put in a small bit, and then, you know, add to it if you need it. And always get someone else to taste it as well, because you know, like, we all have different tastes about salt and stuff. You know, that's only if you're cooking for someone now that you care about. Okay? If you're just cooking for the husband, or if you're cooking for the wife and you don't care, just try as much salt as you like. All right. So, what you call it anyway? So we have that one kind of nearly finished there. So I'm just waiting for this. The risotto rice takes a little while there for it to soak up, you know, and soak that stock into it. And it will start to swell there, and it'll start to thicken up, and it'll start to take on, you know, like a nice flavour from the herbs that we put in there. And I'll just put a little bit of pepper, because I won't bother with the sauce till the very end, alright? But all I'm going to do then to serve that is I'm going to serve it in a pasta dish with just a little bit of this over it, and maybe a small little bit of herbs that I might have on another tray. You just pretend there was herbs in it. So I'm going to put some cheese on it anyway, okay? So yeah, but that's a different kind of. Well, tonight for you, because I'm feeding so many people, the risotto inside, I'm doing that in the oven. Right, what I done was I started it last night, I did cooked it halfway, and then when I came in today, I just put more stock into it, mixed it through it, some butter into it, and covered it with some greaseproof paper and tin foil, and then it's going into the oven there, maybe just after the break, after we have the break, so that now here, so that it'll just reheat in the oven and slowly absorb the stock and kind of cook in there. But it's not the same as doing like a rice pilaf or cooking rice, you know, if you do a basmati rice in the oven. And you can do that quite easy, you don't have to measure it or anything. Whatever tray you're using, just put your rice into it or your dish. And when you cover it with water and it comes up to the first joint of your finger, on your finger, when you're touching the top of the rice, right? Then you cover it, you put it into the oven and you bake it for about 30 minutes, 40 minutes maybe. Depends on the oven you have, right? The heat. Say about 170, 180. And if you come out perfect, it'll absorb all that water and it'll be just cooked. Alright? So I was shown that way when I worked in China, and that's the way they showed me, the chefs. They never measured the rice or the water. If they just had any pan or any tray container, they put the rice in it, put the water in there, and when the water came up to their finger, as they just touched the top of the rice, right? When the water came to their first joint in their finger, they knew they had enough. Alright? And it works out perfect. Also the exact same if you're doing a rice cooker. If you have a rice cooker, do the exact same. And rice cookers are brilliant because you can't burn rice. Well, maybe you can burn rice.